What's up, Bulldogs? All right, today we're going to be talking about responsibility. What is responsibility? I know this isn't a sexy topic, but man, you guys want to be Bulldogs. So I am not going to give it to you easy. I'm going to talk about the stuff that you need to know in order to become a Bulldog, in order to really improve yourself and transform your life, right? So it's kind of weird because, you know, as someone who has been on YouTube for over 10 years here, I guess 13 years, and trying to make videos, you know, there's this pull to make the videos that are popular, that people are going to want to watch. And really the way to do that is to talk about controversies, to, you know, stuff that is going to get people's emotions raging, which is not what I really want to do. You know what I mean? It's like I'm here to help you guys. I'm here to grow myself. That's the plan. And it's been a struggle. It's been a struggle because, you know, like I said, I started this new channel. Obviously, things aren't picking up with the new channel, but you know, maybe they will. We'll see. But I'm just going to keep making the videos that I think are relevant and make sense, and we'll see. We'll see what happens with that, and you know, maybe I'll start upping the quality of the videos and having more production to them and stuff. I mean, it is fun. I do enjoy the acting part of it too, but yeah, I don't know. Like some of it too is like, well, you know, do you want the personal videos from me that are just talking about my life and what's going on with me? I don't know. Like, like there's only so much I can say about that. Maybe that's not, you know, a daily video. And it's weird because a lot of my life right now is figuring this shit out. So it's like, do you want to hear me talk about like how I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing with YouTube and the business right now every single day? I don't know, because that's not, you know, that's not really a direction. So, all right, let's get back to the topic. All right. So, all right, responsibility. Right. So I was having this conversation with my daughter last night, and I thought, hey, this is actually pretty good. In fact, just a side note, a couple of people mentioned they would like some information on Stoic parenting, which let me know if you're interested in that. That could be something. That could be a project. That could be a book. But we're talking about responsibility because she wants to get contacts. Right. She's 12 years old, and I told her that when she becomes responsible, then I would allow her to have contacts. And her mom, you know, my ex-wife, also kind of has to approve as well, because this is a medical type of thing. So I said, you have to convince her, but, you know, I'll be on your side and help you convince, if you can convince me that you're responsible, right? And so, you know, she started talking about how she was doing all these things, and I had set this one level and she met all those requirements, and she said the wrong thing to me, which is like, I feel like I'm like a dog having to do tricks and to get the treat. And I was like, wow. I was like, that shows the lack of responsibility. And kind of how we got in this conversation was because she has a therapy appointment every single week, and I pay for that. And or basically, she was late for this therapy appointment, and I don't send her reminders. Okay. She's got her phone. She's got her calendar. She knows what time it is every single Thursday. She's got the meeting. It's up to her to do this. And so I knew that she was late for the therapy. All right. My wife, Nicole, she knew because she knew that she wasn't on the call. And, you know, and she, you know, Nicole's kind of messaging me, and she's like, hey, you know, should I say something? Should I tell her? I'm like, no, let her suffer the consequences. And then I waited until the app showed me that the therapist messaged me and said, hey, Sophia's not here. And then, you know, and then she basically ended up canceling the call, which I still have to pay for. Right. And so I let that happen. Right. Because that's the kind of dad I am. I let people have their own responsibility. She wants responsibility. I give it to her. And so, you know, she knew that she messed up, right? And I told her, you know, turn in your phone and laptop to Nicole, because I was upstairs on a call. And then when I came back downstairs, I said, you know, you've lost your electronics for today and tomorrow. And she kind of got upset about that. Like, well, why tomorrow? Why is that fair? And I was like, well, you kind of got off easy because you missed the therapy. It can't be rescheduled, and I still have to pay for it, which is $75 in this case. So you kind of got off easy because I didn't make you pay for this. So anyway, that's how we got on the topic of responsibility, because that showed a lack of responsibility. Because one of the things that I told her in order to be responsible is that you have to manage your own schedule. You have to be on time, right? That means that you are really 5 minutes early. That's really what on time means. And it means you're not late. So no being late for school, no being late for bed, no being late for appointments, for classes, for all of those things, right? And so Anyway, she was talking about all of this stuff about a dog and stuff, and I was, I didn't. I'm a very stoic parent. I don't get upset. I just have rational conversation with her, but I did tell her, like, look, that shows a lack of responsibility, and I told her, I said, look, here's the thing, all right, if you are doing things in order to get a treat or to avoid a punishment, right, then that's not responsible. Right? That's not self-responsible. Yeah, you might do the right things, but if you're telling me that, because at one point she was like, well, I guess I'm just not going to do this stuff anymore because, what's the point of trying to be on time and trying to be responsible if you don't get the reward, right? Is essentially what she said, right? And I was like, whoa, hold on a second. That just proves irresponsibility right there, right? Because if you're doing it in order to get the thing, not because you're self-conscious of it, then you're not really fully taking responsibility. You're just avoiding a negative or a positive, or trying to get a positive, right? And so that kind of brings me to the topic, right? Which is what is actually responsibility? Like, how do you define it? What makes you a self-responsible individual? And what is this? And this is something, again, that I had to really think about, because she even asked me, right? At one point, finally, there was a little bit of a temper tantrum kind of thing. I mean, she's good about that. She knows how to manage her emotions, but she did get a little bit upset. She needed some time. She came back and we dealt with it. But one of the questions that came up at that point was, what is responsibility? And I told her, this is what I said, and this is what responsibility is. Okay, it is this. All right, it is multiple areas of being able to take care of yourself so that someone else doesn't have to. Right, and so this involves, one, your body. Okay, so if you're responsible, that means that you take care of your body yourself. That, taking showers, right? Hygiene, all right? It would be the food that you eat, nutritious food, healthy exercise, all those things, all the things that go into maintaining your body and your appearance. That is responsibility, self-responsibility. Brushing your teeth, right? All of these things, taking your pills or vitamins if you need to, take those things. Okay, so that's responsibility, all right? The second thing is managing your schedule, okay? If you want to become responsible, you need to be able to manage your schedule, right? There's no one that's waking you up in the morning. There's no one that's telling you where you got to be. You have a calendar. You know what you need to do. You know what time you need to be places, and you manage that yourself so that you make sure that you're in the place that you need to be at the right time, right? If you can't manage your own schedule, and you can't allocate your time properly in order to get the things done, then you're not being responsible. The third one is that you have to essentially take ownership of all the things instead of blaming other people, right? Instead of having the victim mindset. If you don't take accountability, even if something's not your fault, it's still your responsibility. So taking ownership of that. And so the example that was with my daughter, unfortunately, even though she owned up to the fact that she was late and it was her fault for missing the therapy, she, in that conversation, when she was talking about responsibility and the contacts, she didn't own up to the fact that she was not demonstrating responsibility, that it was her job to convince me that she was responsible. It wasn't my job to just grant her that. And so she kept on saying, well, you're raising the bar higher, you're doing these things, you're doing that. And as she was saying that, she was digging her own grave, in the sense that that was proving a lack of responsibility, right? Because if you're trying to blame other people and say that there's a reason outside of yourself for your circumstances, that is actually a lack of responsibility. So responsibility, if I could sum it up, is this. It is taking full ownership for yourself and accountability for yourself and your situation, right? A responsible person makes it so that someone else does not have to become responsible for them, right? So an irresponsible person puts the burden of their life onto other people. And now, I know she's a child, right? So she's 12 years old. So obviously I, as a parent, am responsible for certain things about her health, her welfare, right? Her schooling, for a lot of these things. But the more that she takes ownership, right? So if you think about a parent-child relationship, I am the one who is ultimately responsible for that child when they're born, 100%, that they feed, that they eat, that they shit, that they everything, right? Taking care of them. But as a child grows up and wants to gain independence and responsibility for themselves, and the freedom that comes with responsibility, right? Because discipline equals freedom, is self-discipline. Then a lot of those responsibilities gets transferred, right? So she takes ownership. She says, Dad, I no longer need you to manage my schedule. I no longer need you to do this. I take care of these things. I take care of those things. You don't need to tell me when to take a shower, right? And so, and some of those things, obviously, you know, I put onto her, right? As I see that she has a responsibility, I'm like, okay, you can take care of this part of your life. You can take care of this part of your life, right? And I give her that responsibility. And so ultimately the goal in raising a child is that the child takes full responsibility for their entire life. And you can see by this definition and by this goal that a majority of people have never grown up. They are still children because they do not take full responsibility for their life, right? And so if you want to become responsible, you have to think in those terms, right? Are you putting burdens on other people? Are you taking, and in fact, a truly responsible person, in fact, if we talk about masculinity and what it is to be a man, and we're going to get into a little bit of this here, it means being truly responsible for yourself and for other people, taking responsibility for other people, right? If you're a man in a relationship with a woman, this is why I talk about the idea that you should take care of her and pay for things and provide financially for her and provide the stability in all the things that she needs, because you're actually taking some of her responsibility and taking it upon yourself, right? Now, does that, you might say, well, then is she becoming like a child? Is she becoming less responsible? No. It has nothing to do with that, okay? It has to do with the idea that you are taking the burden off, that you as a man and part of the role of men in society is to take on additional responsibility beyond their own, beyond self-responsibility, all right, in order to enable society to grow and enable a family to thrive, right? And so that is all part of that. So part of being a man and part of being masculine is responsibility, right? Now, let me give you a quick pitch here, okay, for the Bulldog Mindset membership. I'm still figuring some things out. I still have maybe one coaching slot available if you're interested in that. But if you want to really learn these things, because I realized that as I was going through all the Bulldog Mindset lessons, I have over 200 lessons in there on mindset, fitness, social skills, and what was the other one? Money, right? And there's so much information in there. I was like, oh, maybe I should add more stuff. And I will, but man, there's a catalog of, there's hours and hours, hundreds of hours of content in there. And if you go through that stuff and if you pick out the topics that you want to work on in mindset, in fitness, and in social skills, everything from texting girls to being masculine in a relationship, you're going to find that you're going to have everything you need to grow as a man and to improve yourself. Because this is my playbook. This is exactly all the things that I've learned over the years that I put in there. So check it out if you haven't gotten a chance. I am revitalizing the membership. I've got that whole thing underway right now. So we're going to see some cool changes there. But I will see you tomorrow.